Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the stated time and date for the Planning Commission for the County of Sutter. Talk a little bit about the procedure for public comment, which we do at every meeting. We will come back for any public comment, first of all, for any information that you would like to share with us that is not part of tonight's agenda. And then when we get to an item on the agenda that is subject to a public hearing or public discourse, everybody will have a chance to speak. Those in favor, those against. If you have a spokesperson, I would recommend that to save time, but it's entirely up to you. We'll give you an opportunity to make sure that everybody that wants to be heard is in fact heard. Call the meeting to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Schmidl.
Here.
Commissioner Manuel.
Present.
Commissioner Dosher.
Here.
Commissioner Marlar.
Here.
Commissioner Dela.
Here.
Commissioner Campbell.
Present.
Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, now back on the agenda to items of public comment. Is there anybody in the building tonight that would like to share topics that you have that are not on the agenda tonight that you would like the commissioners to be aware of? Seeing none, we'll move to approval of minutes. This is approval of minutes of the Planning Commission's regular meeting of February the 18th, 2026. Take input from the council on additions, modifications, or changing, starting with Commissioner Campbell.
None, sir.
Commissioner Schmidl.
None.
I have none. Mr. Vice Chair.
I have none.
Commissioner Manuel.
None.
And Commissioner Dela.
None.
Make a motion that the minutes of February the 18th, 2026 become approved. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second with Commissioner Dela. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Item number 2 is a public hearing this evening. Public hearing to consider project number U24-0013, Smith. A use permit to allow a large outdoor special event facility on a 80-acre parcel in the agricultural Sutter Buttes overlay. It's AGSB zoning district for weddings, receptions, birthdays, nonprofit fundraisers, political fundraisers, community, and similar events. A maximum of 16 events is proposed per year with 100 to 850 guests per event. The event facility is proposed to operate Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday between the hours of 8 a.m. and 11 p.m., located at 13189 Pass Road, Sutter, 95982. The assessor's parcel number is 8-190-049. The applicant/owner is Mike Smith Jr. A mitigated negative declaration is proposed. I'll also, for the record, indicate that we had 5 emails into the county offices today, all 5 of which are in opposition to this evening, and also a memo of requiring clarification and concern by the Meridian Fire Chief. Those and the memo from the Fire Chief are all part of the public record now. County staff.
Thank you. Ravina Soraya, Associate Planner. So this project is a request for a use permit to allow a large outdoor special event facility on an 80-acre parcel located within the Sutter Buttes. The parcel has frontage along the north side of Pass Road and is located about 0.7 miles east of West Butte Road. The site is within the agricultural Sutter Buttes overlay zoning district and is designated as Ag 80 in the general plan. All parcels surrounding the project site are also similarly designated Ag SB, Sutter Buttes overlay, and Ag 80. So the project proposes to use a 6.7 or 57 acre portion of the 80 acre site for an event facility. It will be a mainly outdoor event facility. That 6.57 acres includes the outdoor event areas, an accessory building, parking areas, and driveway and access areas. The southern half of the site contains a walnut orchard, and there's an existing single-family residence and multiple accessory structures kind of in the center of the site there, right adjacent to the event area. Here's a close-up of the event area. Events are proposed primarily to be outdoors, and temporary structures such as tents and stages will be brought in as needed for events. The applicant has indicated that they would like to use an existing building on site for smaller events and event staging, which is kind of at the southern end there, Building A. The building is approximately 1,800 square feet and will need to be evaluated for compliance with fire and building code prior to use, in addition to obtaining a building permit to allow for events within the building. Events are proposed to range from 100 to 850 guests per event, and a total of 16 events per year is proposed. The facility will operate from Thursday through Sunday only between the hours of 8 a.m. and 11 p.m. This includes setup and removal. The noise ordinance allows for events up to 10 p.m. And this is a close-up of the main parking area that is located just to the east of the existing residence. A total of 363 parking spaces are proposed. This is in compliance with the zoning code standard, which requires 1 space per 2.5 guests and 1 additional space per any employees working at the site. The applicant has indicated that the number of employees will vary based on the size of event, and no kitchen facilities are permitted to be used on site. All food preparation would need to occur off-site and be done by caterers approved by the Environmental Health Division staff to provide food services. Environmental Health Division has also stated that the existing well and septic system are not permitted to be used for this event facility. All portable restrooms and hand washing stations would need to be brought in. There is an existing restroom located within the smaller building on site that would need to be locked, which is one of the conditions of approval. Access roads and gates on the property will also need to meet county commercial standards, which includes fire access. This is added as a condition of approval. Staff has also prepared an initial study and mitigated negative declaration in accordance with CEQA guidelines, which includes 5 mitigation measures to reduce impacts to the project to a less than significant level. The mitigation measures address potential current concerns with lighting, noise, ingress, egress, and traffic impacts, which a traffic control plan is required by the mitigation measures prior to any event taking place. That would be reviewed and approved by our engineering division. We have also included a condition to provide advance notification of each event to the county and a schedule of events that would be available to the public if there's any concerns, as we did receive a lot of public comments on this. And as you mentioned earlier, we did provide all the public comments to your commission prior to the meeting today. Haven't received anything else since that. Staff is recommending that the Planning Commission approve this project with the findings listed in the staff report and the conditions of approval attached. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Before we open the public hearing, can I hear from the Meridian Fire Chief on your concerns from your memo that you directed today, and we'll keep that outside of the public hearing?
Good evening. Thank you for the time. My name is Robert Stoddard. I'm the Fire Chief for Meridian Fire Protection District. I'm here in a public safety matter. My concerns with this event center is accessibility for staff and equipment, no matter whether it be a medical, whether it be fire, whatever type of emergency it is. My concerns is that, we'll need to have changes to the main entrance as well as the secondary access, reaching around to the backside of the event center. Events of this size, 100 plus, they create its own quagmire. If you have one rescue out there, that's one thing, but when you have multiple rescues or multiple medical aids, that starts taxing the system. When you start taxing the system, you've got, this area right here is an automatic aid area for us and Sutter and the Sutter Fire Department. So you're going to get two pieces coming, two crews coming to you. But once you get above 4 or 5 patients or multiple calls occurring at one time, that taxes the resources. Not only taxes the resources, but you're also looking at a very substantial response time, not from Sutter. Sutter's within about a 7 to 10 minute. Meridian's about 12 to 15 minutes, depending upon the route we have to take. But then Bi-County Ambulance, which is the local EMS provider, you know, they're 15 out plus, depending upon their availability. So that creates that. The traffic coming in and out, that's going to be, you know, issues on all the roads. I'm not sure how the engineering department's running the traffic flow on this, but anything going out West Butte, that's a big concern because traffic coming onto West Butte, onto Highway 20, if you're trying to go west, that's a blind turn, jumping in front of people coming off the bridge. I'm sorry, east, coming off the bridge. If they're going east, that's going to be a big concern. Not only you got people that never been up there before, okay, they're not familiar with the roads. You add darkness to it. You add alcohol to it. I see us having bigger problems than just the event center itself outside of the event center. I have a concern potentials of fire during certain times of the year. That's why I'd be looking for an access to the rear side of it. The reason I'm asking for looking at accessibility on the main entrance of a fire lane is because we have structures there that have to be protected. Or if there's a fire within them not associated with the event, I have to be able to get to them with apparatus, water tenders, engines, staff. And I've been doing this for 44 years now. I've been the IC of the Sikh Parade, and I know that's a huge monster of an event. But these things take, if you go to any city, these things take time to plan and do it right. And like I say, my concern is public safety, not only for the citizens I serve, but also for the people that are coming to my district as visitors. And I think this could be a problem. Any questions?
Not at this point, Chief. Thank you very much. From the commissioners, starting with Commissioner Campbell, any questions of county staff?
Not at this time, no, sir.
Commissioner Schmidl?
Not at this time.
For county staff, when you went over your introduction, and I know from reading the packet, including the augmentation to it today with the notices and the memorandum, about the traffic survey and those type of things, and I assume things like fireworks and whatnot would fall under the California Code for prohibition. So that kind of answers my question there. Do you remember well, probably you don't, but in your vast array of knowledge, do you remember an application such as this that came up on Reed Road a few years back?
I am familiar with it, but I was not here at the time that was processed.
Mr. Hay, do you remember that? I'm not going to ask you a comment on it. That came to my mind today when I was going through for the second time in the agenda.
So good afternoon, Chair. Yes, I was with the department when the Reed Road Event Center was heard by the Planning Commission and ultimately approved. I was in the department actually as an engineer at the time.
Okay. I won't ask you any questions about that because I think it's unfair that I didn't call you earlier to let you know that I was going to ask the question, so no problem. I have no further questions of staff.
Not at this time.
Yeah, I have a couple.
Yes, sir.
Looking at the map and coming in these extra parking places that are along the egress into the event, when you look at it, are these drawn to scale? Because it looks like the road coming in is just as wide as the parking spot. So if that's the case, then you don't have the ability for people to come in and out on the same road if cars are parked there. Is that to scale or not to scale?
Yes, it is drawn to scale. So standard parking spaces are around 9 feet by 18 feet long, and it looks like they're showing about a 20-foot wide road there. But we did discuss this with fire, and they did say that regardless of what is drawn prior to an event, they would have to ensure that there is adequate access for fire to get in and out of there. So that's one of the conditions, is the commercial access road.
Okay. So will that road have to be widened then for traffic to go in and out of there? To go both ways with the parking space there?
I would need to consult with fire about that. I know they sometimes have a turnout that's provided. Yeah, I'm not sure at this time.
My second question is, looking at this and looking where the event center is going to be and the parking is going to be, has there been anything as a fire break or set aside put into this? Because the buttes are, it says in the report that it's not a very flammable area, but unlike anything else, it seems to burn every year. Is there a fire break put into this? I feel that that's part of the fire danger right there, that we don't have a fire break in those areas. And why I say that is when we bring alcohol into an event and people start smoking, they want to get away from the crowd and they walk out. I don't care what the signs say, but they'll go past that area. And fire is a concern of mine. County has no.
We haven't discussed that, no.
Bert, is your mic on?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, they're asking over there, they just can't say it.
Maybe I don't have my mic on.
It's loud.
Yeah.
You want me to sing too? I don't have a very good voice. But fire is another concern. When I look at it, the layout seems okay. My main concerns are the road coming in and a fire break. And the other thing I have is how are they going to block off the bathroom that you have in the other building when you're going to have an event, a small event? Is it going to be blocked off and you're going to bring other porta potties in for that for every event? The air. I'm not to you, Tina.
I know you're looking.
I'm looking out at the crowd, maybe sign autographs later, but that's a concern that you say it's not going to be used, but obviously somebody's going to use a bathroom before they use a porta potty. Those are the only things that I have right now.
Yeah, we did include it as a condition of approval. If there is a situation where it's found that that bathroom is being used, then it'd be addressed at that time. But it is connected to the septic system for the residents, which is why environmental health required that it be locked or inaccessible to guests.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Dela?
Yes, I did have a question. Is there a certain maximum number of people you could imagine would be safe? Because 850 sounds like it's definitely too many to me, but I mean, is 100 too many, or 50, or do you have any idea?
Am I allowed to go?
Yeah.
Even when he's done?
Not after the first round, we can do it when we come back.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no,
It's all a matter of how it's done, okay? Can things be done safely? Yeah, but the more you get, the higher the number, the greater the probability that something is not going to go right, okay? And again, that's why I talk about, and I'll answer the question that was posed concerning the driveway. It has 20 foot for the parking, 20 foot for the main road. I would be requesting another 20-foot to the opposite side that is designated as a fire lane up through there. Okay, so, yeah, it's, the more you put in there, the greater the probabilities. And again, you start adding alcohol. If you got, you got a church group up there, no drinking, no nothing, religious group, whatever, and that's different. You're going to have a different type of thing. But you start adding alcohol, which unfortunately, we know what people do.
Okay, that's all I had then.
Thank you very much. The commission opens up the public hearing for this matter on the agenda. We will get, there's some people that put in requests to speak, but I want to assure you all that if you have comments that you want to make, even if you did not fill out one of these, you will be allowed to make your comment. Those in favor of the project as it's been outlined tonight, anybody like to speak to that issue? Yes, sir. In favor? Okay. Anybody else in the room that's in favor of the project as stated? Yes, sir. If you'd like to make a comment up at the podium there, please. Is that on, sir?
Sorry about that.
There you go.
My name is Jerry Handy. How are you? Hi, Jerry. Hi. 8787 South Butte Road, co-owner of Butte Star Ranch. We are a venue in Sutter County. I just heard about this about an hour ago, so I wanted to come in and see what it was all about. So my information is limited, but I'm definitely in favor of this venue. I think venues are great for Sutter County. I think any time that we can bring in more potential business, economic development to Sutter County, more tax revenue to Sutter County, and the ability to showcase one of our primary assets, we need to be doing that. So the opportunity to bring 850 people into our diamond here in Sutter County, I think is a blessing. I think congratulations to whoever it is that is trying to put this forward. I see nothing but great things. From a safety, fire standpoint, we've operated our venue for 24 years now. I can't recall one incident where we've had a major safety concern. I'm a construction manager by trade. I own 4J Construction and Consulting, so I develop these types of properties for owners regularly. I deal with the parking issues. I deal with access in and out. This parking layout is very typical. There is an issue of backing into that fire lane, but we see that right now in Live Oak on Highway 99, right? They have angled parking and they're backing into the highway. So the amount of people coming and going, people are going to be parked. If a fire engine comes in, people are going to get out of their way. Asking these guys to put additional money into widening that road 20 feet, that's a lot of money. So I don't see that stuff as a concern, but I'm more than happy to talk to anybody that's interested in learning about it. But I am very much in favor of this opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We'll hold Mr. Whitaker's comments until the end as a spokesperson for the project. Is that correct? Anybody that wishes to speak against the project, and if, just to save time, if there's a group that has a spokesperson or something like that that would like to make the comments on behalf of the group.
Excuse me, Chairman, I think we had someone else who wanted to speak in favor of it.
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Go ahead.
My name is Raji Tumber. I was born and raised here in Yuba City. Hi, Jerry. My perspective is that I support the new Sutter Buttes venue site development. Sutter Buttes venues, okay. The positive points to support the project are, for the Punjabi community, this site is perfect. Our community is known to have many traditional customs and rituals, especially during a wedding. As we all know, the celebrations can get quite large, loud, and boisterous. The Sutter site would help Yuba City proper with keeping any crowd intrusions and traffic congestion to the interior of Yuba City community and neighborhoods to occur less often or minimized. The case of marching down the streets during a wedding celebration, we know that not everyone enjoys our singing and music. The parking would be ample at the site. Driving to the venue would not be bumper to bumper. Our people are really early, on time, some late, and those that are always really late. The existing neighbors are located some distance away, over the hills, or buffered by walnut orchards. Finally, the best reason is that the venue site is a visually beautiful representation of a small portion of the Sutter Buttes, God's gift to us. Visitors and guests will finally be able to see, experience, and enjoy the interior without trespassing on land of other property owners. The experience of being up close and personal most definitely will inspire and create a desire for folks to discover more of the interior. There are opportunities to go on nature walks, hiking trails, or attend events that showcase the Sutter Buttes, our treasure. Let's support the new venue site for more reasons than just one. Our buttes are just, renowned and beautiful. And I think this is just a great opportunity to kind of expose it from the inside. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your time. Those against the project, and I still have three people here, Lemonager, Smith, and Mr. Whitaker is held in abeyance for last. Is there anybody else that would like to speak against this project? Just whoever, you can stand behind one another and draw consolation from each other.
Draw consolation. I'm Christina Ehlers. I never attended a meeting like this. I live on Lemonager Road in Sutter. I'm not related to the Lemonagers, but Ned is my neighbor. My family owns property right there on Acacia. If you've been in Sutter, there's been mention of West Butte Road as an ingress and egress for this event site. The other major one that I haven't heard mentioned yet because we've just started is up Pass Road. For those of you familiar with the area, Acacia runs north and south. When you get to the very north end of Acacia, which is the main street through Sutter, it turns into Pass Road, and you take that hard left and you hook it on up Pass Road, which leads you to the venue that's proposed. Now, I just want to say that I just learned about this 2 days ago, so I didn't formulate, so bear with me while I put it together here. My family, my in-laws specifically, our property is behind theirs. They own 15 acres there on the corner where it makes that sharp curve. They're on the outside or the east side of the curve. The Ehlers family, there are, I would say, 3 to 5 accidents every year, and I don't know if you guys have the statistics on that or if you have thought of any ways to mitigate the danger associated with that curve. People come out of the buttes when it's raining. They could be sober as a priest and still come out, and if it's raining or they're going too fast, they end up in the ditch in front of our property, and it's a deep ditch, and the cars just go and just sandwich sideways right into it. Or they tumble and roll into our cow pasture. Several years ago, we just stopped putting cows in that pasture because there were so many people ending up in there. And I mean, I swear to God, at least 3, as many as 5 a year accidents at that curve. And I haven't seen a fatality in the 30 years I've lived there, but I've had, I think it was about a year ago, we had a helicopter have to land in our cow pasture to take someone off on life flight. And so I'm just really, my main concern, I love the idea of a venue in our beautiful area. All the weddings that we go to these days for our kids and their friends are at these venues. But I like them because they're in Idaho and we fly there and it's not not just up the road from my house, so I don't have to worry about fire danger, which I don't know who, someone said something about they really played down the fire danger, and Bert addressed it, and fire is a real hazard up that way, and we worry about it many, many months a year. So please, keep the fire danger in mind. People they just don't think about it. But we do constantly. I'm right there at the base of the buttes looking up at them, and I worry about fire all the time. The other thing, again, is I just want to end by saying that the traffic right there at that corner is so very, very dangerous that I can't imagine this project moving forward without there being something done to mitigate that, because it is not going to be long before we have loss of life on that corner, because right now it's just mostly dumb kids coming out of the buttes too fast is what it tends to be. And telling you speaking from personal experience, because I'm right behind, our house is right behind that house, in-laws house. So we hear it, we always hear it, and we're always the first ones on site, my husband and I, always the first ones on scene, always. And this is gonna introduce alcohol up in that area, and that's when people get really dumb. And so I think you're gonna see a loss of life on that corner in particular. So I just ask that everyone move forward with that particular spot in mind and find a way to make that safer. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ned, did you want to talk after this lady talks? Okay, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Liz Romness, and I live on Reed Road. My parents have a family ranch out in the Buttes. My concern is I live across the orchard from the Walnut Avenue Community Center. We were told when it went in, oh, it's going to be great, you know, we're gonna mitigate the sound, it's only gonna go till 10 o'clock. I'm going to tell you right now that is not true. My windows shake in my bedroom at midnight. When you call the sheriff's department, there's nothing they will do. And I am in Yuba City, Sutter County, close to town. There are people who live around this venue. I am all in favor of property rights. I think 800 is way too many people, but that's besides the point. The sound, the fireworks that go off, and they will, you have to be careful. You guys have to take in the whole picture of this. Not just, oh, it'd be a great venue, it's the Buttes, it's beautiful. You have to think about the people around it and how it impacts their lives and how it impacts our emergency services. And like I said, I am close to town. No one helps when my windows are shaking at midnight. There is no one that will come and help the people who live around it. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about this project. Thanks.
Ma'am, did you live next to or in close proximity to the other venue that was proposed a few years back on Reed Road?
I did. I live on the other end, closer to the highway.
Am I correct in that was not approved?
That was not approved. We don't have enough infrastructure on our road for an event center like that on our road. Plus, we had fought the community center for so long, and so we were just lied to completely by the set of supervisors at the time that it went through all the neighbors, and we all signed a petition saying, please don't put this in.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Mr. Lemonager? There you go.
My name is Ned Lemonager. I live on Lemonager Road.
I don't think it's on, Ned.
He's tall. Yeah.
My family has farmed in Sutter County for 166 years. We own property alongside Pass Road, and over the last years, we've seen the traffic continually get worse and more dangerous. A venue of this size is going to make it a lot worse. And I don't know if any of you thought about, I'm going to say 400 cars going up Pass Road during Sutter Butte's Bike Around the Butte Day. or there's another bike around the buttes that they do, and the old tractor parade uses Pass Road. That's going to make it a real dangerous situation. And if anything, I'd like the numbers cut down. And I know we need venues. I still think the best use of the buttes is agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you, Ned. The other person that had requested to speak is Arlen Smith.
That's me.
Like, you're not Arlen, I'll bet.
I am Arlen.
Oh, okay. I was getting ready for an apology.
No. My concern is a couple of things. Pass Road is already dangerous. There are so many little monuments along Pass Road now showing where somebody died in an auto wreck. I watched kids have an auto wreck chasing each other down that road. And that was bad. Two of those children died. The little monuments along the road remind you how dangerous Pass Road is. It is not built to handle that kind of traffic. It's not wide enough. It's not close enough to a highway. It has to go right through town or out trying to get onto the freeway on West Butte Road, which is a dangerous access. And the zoning is not there. I remember when it was save the buttes, save the buttes, save the buttes. They couldn't put in a tomato plant, which is an agricultural business, because we had to save the buttes. Save the people. We don't need a venue of that size and capacity out there. A small venue for weddings or whatever, that might be just fine. But that property is not meant to be used that hard. The buttes are delicate. They can't tolerate being burned all the time. I've seen plenty of fires out there. We've lived in the buttes many, many years. And I am totally against this project. And already I have heard of a couple more that want to go in out there because, yes, it's beautiful this time of year. In the summer, it's what my husband used to call the crispy critters. It's so flammable. So my vote, and I hope the planners and the supervisors will pay attention to what the people out there have to say. My neighbors don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. And I am very much against it. It is not a good idea.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Is there anybody else on the negative side that would like to speak, maybe on topics that have not been covered yet on the negative? Yes, ma'am, in the back.
Good evening. My name is Denise Davison. I live next door to the Smiths. I am totally against this, especially for venue that's going to be open on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I bought my property out there to retire and to live in peace, not have to listen to music and auto crashes. I can't tell you how many times I've had to have people, the police come out because there's an auto accident, or the CHP's got 15 cars lined up because they've been racing up and down the road. I call the sheriff's department, say they're racing out here. They connect me to the CHP. CHP says, I'm sorry, we don't have anybody out here. Next thing I know, I've got a helicopter landing in the middle of Pass Road picking up dead, very severely injured people. I've had to chase people off my property, off my driveway. We have had to put up signs saying no trespassing because they go out in our pasture. They've destroyed our fences. Not saying that this is going to happen from the venue, but it's just that the population. If you drive down Pass Road at any time, especially in the evenings, you'll see no less than maybe 8 to 10 cars parked alongside the road. And I hate to tell you how many times I've had to clean up Modelo cans, Coors, whatever, bottles, wine bottles. I've had people sitting out there smoking pot. I've had to go down there and say, you need to move. I had to kick some people out of there. I had a bull, and I had to kick some people out of there because they were climbing over the fence. They thought it would be fun to go out and pet the bull.
Oh, Bull would have taken care of that.
Well, then I'd get sued. So I am totally against this, plus the fact that when the music plays, it will hit the mountains, and then it'll come in my backyard. It'll hit the mountain across from us, because that's why it's called a pass road. You've got mountains on both sides. It's going to reverberate. I'm going to have music in stereo that I really don't want to listen to. I think that they could put it someplace else besides Pass Road. I mean, before, we have tried to get things done and they wouldn't let us do it because it was an historical place. No, this doesn't blend with the buttes. No, this isn't conforming to what we requested. And we've not been able to go forward with our projects on our property due to the fact that it wasn't agreed with. So my vote is no. I don't want it anywhere near me. I don't want to listen to have that, and the traffic's going to be terrible. Are they going to stop and let me leave when I want to get out of my property? I'm a mile down from the road. So my vote is no. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Anybody else on the negative side? Seeing no, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am.
Is it on?
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name's Annie Houston. I'm a second-generation resident of Pass Road. We have a small 20-acre ranch. I just want to point out, first off, the only people advocating for this project are not going to be affected by the negatives of this project. We've lived there for pushing 30 years, and the amount of traffic and the dangerous driving that occurs on that road, specifically on our quarter-mile stretch, which people use to drag race, is absolutely insane right now, let alone adding a 100 to 850 event venue, inviting alcohol, inviting drugs, inviting increased traffic with sports cars or whatever is being driven, is insanity. Our homes are not there for people's entertainment. The only thing that I agree with is them saying the Buttes are a gem. They absolutely are. They're a gem for those of us that have moved there, that have been raised there, that have grown up there, and that's our home. It's not there for entertainment. I don't disagree that people should enjoy the Buttes. People drive, we have the big bike around the Buttes, we have the orchard flower tractor parade. There are so many events that people can come and enjoy our space, and we welcome them. We love them. My mother and I sit out and we video and wave to all the people driving by the tractors 2 weeks ago, and it's amazing. I am 8 months out from my third spine surgery from a drunk driver that crashed into me in our driveway. I'm a year and a half out from a drunk driver that crashed into my property, causing $60,000 worth of damage at 12:45 in the morning, and they did not have insurance. The constraints on our emergency services while our fire station is on the brink of shutting down It took them 15 minutes to arrive to a drunk driving accident on my property a year and a half ago. Thank goodness the young man that caused the accident was okay, but that was 15 minutes had somebody been dead in my pasture that I would have to go out and deal with. And I have the video. I'm more than happy to show you my security camera footage of this poor, I say poor, but drunk young man causing this horrible, severe accident and causing all the damage and the potential risk to his life and mine and my animals. I don't agree with this at all. I agree that the buttes are beautiful and to come enjoy them, but not at risk to our peace and to our way of life, as it always has been. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe you can give me some insight into spinal surgery too.
Sorry?
Maybe you can give me some insight into spinal surgery too. Mine is next month.
Oh, I'm more than happy. I've had 3 of them.
I might give you a call.
I'm more than happy to. I have 3 artificial discs in my lower back now. My first surgery was Christmas Day almost 2 years ago. Second one was 2 weeks later, and then I now have 3 artificial discs I had to fly to LA for, from a drunk driver crashing into my F-350 and almost totaling it at 120 miles per hour.
You're not making me feel better. Thank you, ma'am.
If you have questions, I'm more than happy.
There you go. Anybody else that would like to speak in opposition to the project as mentioned? Then we will go back to Mr. Whitaker, who has promised a chance to address the issues as he saw fit.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am Jim Whitaker. I am the project consultant for AIP Consultant. And Mike Smith Jr. is the owner of this property. Just like to start out by saying that he inherited this property from his parents. And both those people were naturalists, environmentalists. Mike Smith Jr. is the same type of person. He's an environmentalist, naturalist, doesn't want to do anything that will harm anything of the buttes. When we talked about the project and he talked about events, he's even saying that he wants to have people use biodegradable stuff when they come in. He's also talked about, so like they put a bunch of vegetation on this property in the beginning, and wild pigs came in and ate all the vegetation. So normally, probably you and I, some of the members here, might have shot those wild hogs, but not Mike Smith Jr. He puts a steel fence all the way around his property and keeps the pigs out, and then puts food out on the other side for the pigs to eat. That's the type of person that we're talking about, Mike Smith, okay? He's a naturalist, environmentalist, cares about what's happening. He also wants to be a good steward to this project. I think one of the things that people keep getting hooked up on is the 850. They're gonna have 16 events of 850 people. That is not true, okay? At this time, you can ask Neil Hay, and he can tell you that the applicant could have, right now, one project of 850 people if he wanted to, a year. He could put 850 people right now on his property, and nobody could say anything about it. But yet, you know, my client says, hey, let's do it right. Let's go out and do our due diligence and talk to people and get it before the Planning Commission and make it right. So let's not get confused, because he's also a member of the historical societies and wants to have events for the nonprofits, kids' birthdays and other things. Now, I will tell you that when we looked at our project, Star Ranch, Munger's Winery, those are great assets for the Sutter community. This is the same type of thing. It's just going to be another good asset for this community. When addressing, one thing I did want to mention is that this is a seasonal event center. This has no buildings that people are going to congregate in. There's no barn dominiums or anything that either hold a large people. It's an outdoor venue. That means when it's raining, when it's windy, when it's super hot outside, when it's mosquito season, these events aren't going to happen, all right? And we may not get 16 events in a year. So, that's one thing to consider as well. If you look at the traffic and traffic studies that were performed, so we looked at them as well, because once again, my client wants to be good stewards to everyone on that road. So what we proposed was like any event that might have over 500 people, we would have our renters petition to use limousine services. And in doing that, I contacted Bob Dollywall, he's right here, and he has a 30-person bus. So that 30-person bus can be utilized to move people in and out of the event center. Those events are over 500 we're talking about. And so we'll limit the traffic on that road. I also spoke to the superintendent of schools for Sutter High School and asking him if we could park those cars at Sutter High School during an event. And Jetson Noon says, you know, Jim, we use a lot of our parking for nonprofits. I don't see a problem at it right now, but I do want to look at like our insurance and make sure that they're okay with it as well. But I don't see a problem with it as well. So we'll use not only that site to have people meet there and use bus services to bring people in for large events only. So just to address the traffic issue so when you have 500 people, we will utilize bus services for those people. When we talk about, let's see where I'm at. We talked about, I want to mention our fire chief, Bob Sutter, which I've known this guy for over 50 years, okay? And he brings some credibility. I will tell you that. Some of the comments he made, and I've seen the statements, he does bring some credibility. But what had happened here is that Chief Chalowitz had looked at this project on site before he retired. We had another fire chief come. We've had, who is the fire marshal, approve this project already. And so we've had 2 different fire chiefs approve this project and look at it. And we've had a fire marshal approve this project as well. But in regards to Fire Chief Sutter, my client says that after we got his comments is, let's bring him out and utilize his professionalism and see how we can mitigate those things. Because if he brings some good thoughts to the table, we'll definitely look at those things. So I didn't want to discontinue the thinking that, hey, your comments just fell on deaf ears. They didn't, okay? So my client's willing to work with our fire chief, Mr. Strutter, on those projects. There won't be any fireworks at our events. No fireworks, absolutely. We're not going to put fireworks on any of our events. So if you want us to put that as a condition, we'll put that as a condition. No fireworks at any events. And number 7, I just want to address Bert's comment on a fire block. If it's feasible for us to do a fire block, we're open to it, okay? So we're not opposed to that at all. Obviously, we have to do it on our side of the fence, on our side of the property, because we don't own the other side of the property. So if we can look at that, we'll definitely look at that as well. With that, I just want to say that this is a unique piece of property. As you look at it, once again, if we're going to have nonprofits, could be 10 events of 100 people at these things, and so when we looked at this project, we said, hey, we'll limit it to those parking spots. We followed every county ordinance policy possible to get this thing approved. So, and I will tell you, Blue Star Ranch is a model of this stuff, okay? And so if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer it.
Just a second, Jim, if you could stay by the podium there. Anybody else would like to speak in favor of the project? I was wondering.
That was quick.
Is it something that's already been addressed? No. Ma'am, yeah, you can go back up and we'll go back to opposition to the project. But at the end, when I close the public hearing, if I could have Chief Stoddard and Jim Whitaker stand by at the podium there in case there's some questions that need to be answered by members of the Planning Commission, if you would, please. Yes, ma'am.
My question is why is it till 11 o'clock? Usually the noise or the turn up is 10. So why are they allowed for 11 o'clock? And what about the noise levels? Like I say, Pass Road is like a big tube. The noise level is going to be, if they have a band or music or whatever, that means that my windows have to vibrate until 11 o'clock at night. So that has to be addressed because it's not good. And I just think that they need to think about some other things too before things go forward.
Thank you very much. Anybody else in favor of the project?
Mr. Chairman, I can address that real quick if you want. So as it pertains to noise, so we have one building on the property, and we have stated that with planning that if we could put a DJ system in that one building to mitigate the sound so it wasn't blaring out everything, that we would be able to do that. So, and the fire marshal said he had no problem with that.
When you talk about another fire chief, Jim, well, let me come back to you when we close the public hearing. Commission closes public hearing, brings it back to the commissioners for questions, and you may direct your questions to county staff, Mr. Whitaker as a proponent of the project, and or Chief Stoddard. Almost said Sheriff Stoddard. Starting with Commissioner Campbell.
Excuse me. No comments, no questions, sir.
You, sir.
I have a few comments. So we have owned property in the Buttes forever. We know about the fire issues out there. There's rattlesnakes. This plan isn't very robust. It seems to be haphazard, whatever the county's minimum, or I don't see it saying you're doing your client a good service. You know, you talk well, but I'm not going against the locals, and I'm not going to go against the local fire guys. So you can imagine how I'm going to vote on this, because this is going to fly, in my opinion. I mean, if you're going to take this serious, you're going to have him backing you up 100%. And who's the fire marshal? Jim? Yeah.
Jim Matthews.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's ridiculous, so sorry.
Thank you. County staff, can you show me the proximity of the closest residences to this proposed project, please?
Yes, it's a little difficult to see on here.
Just approximation is fine.
I believe the closest residence is about here, where the cursor is.
What's the scale of the map?
Well, these are both parcels adjacent, or the parcel over here is also about 80 acres, and I believe it's between 1,600 feet away from kind of the event area.
Commissioner Smith will advise me there's another slide that shows it in more approximation.
Oh, is there? Oh, there you go. Yeah, this one's shows. Is that the one you're referring to?
Shows it if you could zoom on it.
Yeah,
That's okay.
so there's a residence right here.
Yeah, I believe our nearest neighbor is like a half a mile away. Yeah.
Jim, who was the fire chief that came on? I know Matthews was the fire marshal, but who was the fire chief that
I
inspected?
said two fire chiefs, like Chief Daly, I'm sure looked at the project, and our fire marshal, Jim Matthews, looked at the project.
Thank you.
And then the other one was Chief Shalowitz. They came out personally.
Chief Stoddard, can I ask you, please, if there's anything you heard or any mitigations that you heard tonight that have calmed your concerns to any degree?
Well, I mean, I still have the same concerns, and we keep talking about Pass Road as a canyon. It's a canyon. That's interesting fire dynamic, especially at the mouth of a canyon, depending upon time of day, depending upon directions of wind, and how fast that fire, if the fire was to occur, it would happen. So, I mean, I'm willing to talk with them. If it passes, I'll work with them, but I still have my concerns on the roadways, accidents, concerns of fire, and the control of what's going to be out there. My experience is you're out there, no law enforcement, private security, control is going to be minimal.
Thank you very much. Mr. Vice Chair, comments from you or questions?
So I guess to Jim, I know the term 850 comes up. Is that something you would be willing to compromise on?
Oh, most definitely.
I mean, I realize that may happen once a year, it may not happen, but that's a lot of people. And I'm very familiar with the roads to access that. Basically, there's 3 from Highway 20 that I can think of right now through Sutter. It just seems like a lot to me. If, you might mitigate that a little bit, I mean. think
I have
that
no
would-
problem mitigating the number. I just, like I said, when we looked at this project, we were like saying, okay, what's the maximum we could get to? 850 was the maximum the county would allow. Like I said, it meets all county policies and procedures, so that's what we went with.
I understand that, but it's extremely rural, obviously, we know that. It just. that's a
Understandable,
lot of
but
cars.
like I've said before, the traffic concerns, we can utilize limousine services and bus services to get people out there as well. That will mitigate a lot of the traffic.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Manuel?
This is for staff. On page 2, you have, this proposed project is consistent with the zoning code, section 1500-05-400, developmental standards, and it falls into the general plan, including the general plan, goals, and policies. And under the goals, it says, promote visitor services and attract to enhance and support Sutter County agricultural industries. So does that mean we're gonna name this thing after Sunsweet or Del Monte? Because I see no industry out there, or California walnut. I don't see how that gold even fits in the preface of this thing, because you're not supporting agriculture. Matter of fact, you're taking agriculture away to have an event center. So that's one thing. The next one is, it says, policy AG 5.5, special events allow for farm homestays. Okay, if they're gonna open up their house, have a bed and breakfast, let people come out, see this thing, all for it. Special events such as a wedding, that's great. But it's subject to discretionary approval, and for 16 events, that seems like a lot to me. When the special events thing was put into the general plan as once in a while having a wedding of your family at your property, having a bed and breakfast in an extra house that you have, or opening your house up to a bed and breakfast. To me, these things are not consistent with the general plan. And I'm not county council. I'm not these people standing out here. I'm just a Portuguese boy from Live Oak. But to me, this doesn't fly with what you've put in there. I just don't, I can't see how it enhances the agricultural industries, and I don't see how it's a farm stay or a bed and breakfast or something. Matter of fact, there's really no improvements out there other than a parking lot and a road going in and out. So those are my questions. I just don't know how you get to there. I just don't see that. I mean, I'm blind to how that attracts Sutter County agricultural industries. I mean, maybe if OMC had their equipment out there and people came out and looked at it, that enhances the industry, but there's nothing that's enhancing the industry. That was for you on there, and that's something that I think needs to be looked at. Jim, in the right setting, I think this would be okay. I'd like to see infrastructure out there. I'd like to see permanent bathrooms that are put in. You said, oh, this is going to be a seasonal venue. Well, you can't control the weather. So if people have planned an event, it's windy, there's fire danger, you don't drive out there and go, wind's 35 miles an hour, event's closed, let's go. People are gonna have a wedding, they're gonna have a reception, they're gonna have a meeting. something's got to happen, something's got to go on. They're not going to move it. So to me, this project, if it had a big building built, minimize the sound, the fire danger, all those things would be great. And then I look at it, but the only thing I see out there is maybe a problem. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being the, you know, I'm too con on it, but I don't see the pros versus the cons on this project.
Fair enough, Commissioner Manuel, but I still stand by my comments. My comments were basically saying that this is a seasonal place. It's just a stamp of hey, this is what you get to utilize on this piece of property. We're not putting up any buildings or anything like that. We're not being intrusive to the buttes at all. And so just kind of looking at it as a place where, you know, somebody could have a small event, or you know, the Historical Society can come out and do a nonprofit event, looking at different venues that might take, you know, come out there. And so just giving other people options, I'm sorry, but we're not going to be putting up structures at this site. And
Are you going to plant a lot of lawns so there's some beautification out there?
Most definitely. So there's going to be a landscaping stamp on this project, and so what it looks like, I'm not the landscaping project manager on this. He'll have to hire out somebody to do that, just to enhance the venue, and so, but I won't be involved in that process.
Thank you. One more question for you. In your initial presentation, you said all food would be prepared off-site, but in the agenda packet, it said food trucks would be allowed and food preparation would be allowed in the food trucks. That I just want to clarify that food trucks would be okay to come out there.
Yeah, so environmental health did say that if a food truck could be allowed there, because they would have the commercial facilities to prepare within the truck, it would have to be self-contained, so nothing on site could be used. No, like they couldn't use the well or anything like that for that.
Thank you.
And then just to address your other question earlier regarding that policy, AG 5.5, I just wanted to mention, so it does say that special events such as weddings, subject to discretionary permit approval, that is written in the general plan so we can review each proposal on a case-by-case basis. The 16 events and 850 guests was what was proposed by the applicant. And, you know, we bring it before the commission here to review that and ensure that's something that we want to move forward. It can change if you so choose, but that is why that is written in there and why we included it. So that it's up to the discretion of the commission.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Dilla?
Yes, I had a few comments here. Basically on 3 categories here. One is access. Sounds like there are roads in there are, you know, not wide. The turns could be dangerous, which is, you know, you start getting 300 cars backed up trying to get into that or trying to leave later. That just feels like a major issue. I mean, I've tried to leave Toyota Amphitheater after a concert's over, and that's what I envision this is going to be like on a smaller scale, but still a huge logistical nightmare. And then the capacity, if you're going to do it, I'd like to see the parking spaces along the drive done away with. That's just going to be a nightmare too. There's no two-way to get, you can't get people coming and going out. People are going to be backing out. That's going to cause issues too. So, and 850 people for this. I looked around in different counties around here and different venues. The vast majority of them have a max of 350. So 850 is like more than double that. So, yeah, that's all I had to say at the moment.
Thank you very much, sir. County staff, just an overall question for you. The right to expect approval, and I say that in the context of has the applicant, or not this applicant, any applicant, that comes before Sutter County Planning and Development, if they meet every individual requirement, covenant, code, provision, and maybe county council too, would there be a reasonable expectation if they met all those parameters that their project would be approved?
Yes, yeah, so that's what we're reviewing it against, and that's why we bring forward the recommendation for approval, because it does meet those. Of course, public comments are taken into consideration as well.
But as far as the code and ordinances are considered, the project does in fact, the applicant has met all those?
Yes, with the addition of the conditions.
Okay. County Council, I know we didn't bring it up earlier to you, and you can move this along if you want. Is there a certain expectation of a right to develop if they in fact meet all the requirements set by the county?
I wouldn't, excuse me, I would not characterize it as a right to an expectation of approval, but certainly a expectation of equal treatment under the law, non-discriminatory application of the laws and the ordinances. So if you understand the distinction, it's not that someone should expect that just because they've complied with everything that would necessarily be approved, but it would not be denied on a basis that is different for that applicant than any other applicant.
Right, okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Through the chair,
Yes, sir.
maybe I could offer just a few comments in response to that as well. So staff has prepared conditions of approval that go above and beyond maybe specific aspects of the general plan and the county zoning ordinance, and intended to, alleviate some of the maybe concerns of residents. We can't alleviate all of them. First of all, maybe to, one of the aspects is this is a discretionary approval as a use permit. So the county allows applicants in various land uses for various uses that are maybe atypical, but have an allowance within the general plan for a use permit, which is a discretionary approval consideration by your planning commission. And as such, it can be approved subject to the conditions, but also it can be revoked on actions if they do not comply with the conditions of approval once approved. For example, if they initiate events without satisfying all the conditions of approval, that is subject and cause for our department to come back through the process to recommend revocation of the use permit. My department has done that within the recent last few years on other projects. This project, one of the concerns brought up was the noise consideration. So it allows vents to go till 11 p.m., but the county has a noise ordinance that goes until 10 p.m. And it essentially drops to 55 decibels at the property line at 10 p.m. And that has been enforced by our department. So our department has a decibel meter that I myself have personally used at 10 p.m. at event centers in Sutter County. And so subject to complaints by residents and neighbors of other event centers within the county, the department does take those complaints seriously, and they do respond accordingly so that we can, verify. And we've had venues that have been noticed that they exceeded the county's ordinance, and if they did not correct the issue, their use permit would be subject to revocation, right? Because it's a violation of the condition of approval. There's also code enforcement action that can be taken if someone violates the county zoning code for the noise ordinance. In consideration of the traffic concerns, so Pass Road is a 2-lane road. It certainly has winding curves. The department has done some corrective actions. We actually worked with the Lemonaders and added a little over 500 feet of guardrail on the eastern portion of Pass Road, a little bit south of this location. We've added some additional other curve signage, and there's a flashing light at the corner of Pass and Acacia Avenue. One, it may seem counterintuitive, but I think as kind of was brought up, in an event where there are a large number of vehicles going to and from the venue, there won't be people speeding. It'll be the opposite, right? There will be slow traffic, which has been, the studies have indicated that actually reduces collisions. And it reduces certainly significant threats to life and property because motorists aren't able to speed and it really exceed the posted speed limit. As a follow-on consideration, recent to the comments regarding the driveway, and I think, pardon me, to the fire chief's comments, you as a planning commission do have the authority or the opportunity that if you felt that the parking along the driveway was constricting, that you could condition the project that parking would not occur. That would probably add about 20 additional feet of width to the driveway, which is what the Meridian Fire Chief was seeking as one corrective action. And then that would correspondingly reduce the number of eligible attendees to the events because the staff report includes a calculation as to how many people would be in each vehicle, and then we can calculate the number of vehicles that are designated in the parking spots on the driveway. So I offer those things for your consideration.
One other additional question, Mr. Hay. Relative to violations of the use permit, is that an expeditious process if it comes to the level of denying the functions of the property? Or is there a lot of bureaucracy between going back to the Planning Commission and on to the Board of Supervisors?
So past actions for not only event centers, but just other use permit locations in the county, they typically are provided with a notice of violation, maybe at a first occurrence. Upon the second occurrence, there's action taken to generate a staff report that would bring the matter for consideration or revocation. It depends maybe on the severity of it, but some issues that pertain to life safety, for example, would be considered significant enough to seek the revocation. It depends, like I say, whether or not the project applicants, the property owners, make an effort to comply with the conditions of approval and take corrective actions. To the point about the fireworks, so for example, fireworks are not included as an authorized use of this application. The county does have a method and a means that you can apply if you want to utilize fireworks. But if fireworks were, obviously come from the property and that was not an authorized use, that could be, especially within the buttes and the fire sensitivity, that could be an immediate reason for revocation, consideration of revocation of the use permit.
Thank you, Mr. Hay.
Through the chair,
Yes, sir.
if I may. Can staff or Mr. Whitaker or perhaps you, Mr. Hay, address how many spaces are along that road, the entry and exit road? How many?
63.
63. So 63 times 2.5, that's minus roughly 160 attendees. So that gets us to what, 590 roughly? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess I'm thanking myself. But.
Chair will entertain a motion for or against on the project and make any additions or modifications to different approvals such as the one mentioned about the access to the property, reference the fire chief's concerns, if you so choose. Floor is open.
I'd like to make a motion for denial. As it's submitted now, and give the applicant the opportunity to fix some of the things that have been brought up here tonight and resubmit.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Schmidl. And can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Schmidl,
Yes.
Commissioner Manuel,
Aye.
Commissioner Dosher,
No.
Commissioner Marler,
Aye.
Commissioner Dila,
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell.
No.
The vote has enough in favor to let the project proceed to the Board of Supervisors relative, well, will it go to them?
No, that was not the motion. Motion was to deny.
We have,
There was only 2 yeses, 2 noes, excuse me.
Okay, yeah, I get it because of the wording of the particular motion. So we have 3 noes, is that correct?
2 no's.
2 noes, and 1 in favor of Commissioner Manuel's motion, 4 for Commissioner Manuel's motion. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
just for my own clarification, what actually do you want us to address on the resubmittal? You can't just leave that blank statement and tell me, I just want to resubmit and address those issues. What issues are you actually wanting me to address for my client?
I'd open that, I think that's a valid point. I'll open that up to Commissioner Manuel or Commissioner Schmidl if they want to have a discussion reference to the modifications.
I think, Jim, to plan with the fire break, show us what kind of landscaping's going to be put forward on this project, do away with the parking on the egress into it, and if they have to, make the parking bigger in the secondary parking, if they want to accommodate that many people. But I think it would behoove you to cut down on the number of people for the event.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jim.
Just a second, Jim, did you have a comment you wanted to make?
Just basically cut it down. You know, everything he said. Get with the fire department here and do everything they want.
Sir, with all due respect, you have a problem with the fire marshal, and I can't address that issue.
Right.
So.
Oh, excuse me?
You said that you had a problem with the fire marshal.
I did not have a fire. I do not have a problem with Jim Matthews.
Okay, well, you said who's the fire marshal? Exactly.
No, because I was confused that someone that I talk to almost daily. Okay.
Okay.
So it's like I know him really well.
Okay, thank you,
And I'm
sir.
not going to speak for him, but it's like if we get everybody in line, maybe. You know, when you're down at Feather Falls or any of these casinos, when they have any kind of venue, they have CHP there helping with traffic.
Sure.
You have to admit that it's a dangerous road. There's plenty of blind, over-the-top currents. I've been on that road a lot. Like a lot of people
I've been
have.
born and raised here, sir. I understand that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Jim, do you have enough information that is presented in this discussion format that you have an idea of what modifications need to be made to potentially get this to a yes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do. And I appreciate everybody's comments. What our next step is, obviously, it's not going to be coming back to this body of
Right.
commissioners. It's going to go back, it's going to be appealed to the Board of Supervisors.
Okay. Did you get any insight at all?
most
In case it comes back through here?
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
Like I said, I appreciate everybody's comments and their input, and we'll address those as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am?
A moment ago, Bert Manuel
Ma'am, could you please approach the podium? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My apologies, rookie move. So Bert Manuel said a moment ago that he made a motion to deny it and said that perhaps things could be done later to make it happen. And then the vote was taken on
Right.
whether or not to deny it. And there were
Right.
4 of you that said they agreed with denying it and 2 of you that did not agree with denying it. Did I understand that correctly?
Yes, ma'am?
Okay, so 4-2 denying it.
That's right.
And that's not just denying it done, you're leaving it open and it moves forward elsewhere?
It depends on, well, it automatically would go to the Board of Supervisors, like all of these do, for their input or
Okay.
or approval.
Because I just learned of this 2 days ago,
Sure.
only because a friend texted me and said, hey, did you know? And I said, oh, you know what, I don't know, but I told you my experience about, the wrecks on the corner there and this and that. And I am a little jealous that, I can't build a second house on 15 acres, but they can do Cirque du Soleil or have a rave, just up the road from me. I'm a little jealous at that with zoning purposes and such, so anyway.
We were just trying to make it clear as far as the motions were concerned
you.
on potentially what would need to happen for modifications in a use permit. And Jim, you're happy with that?
Most definitely, sir.
Chief, you're okay with that? Yes, sir.
If I could request a point of clarification on the process.
Absolutely.
Just so that everybody's clear. And County Council, will you please guide me through this and make sure that I'm spot on? My understanding is that through the application for a conditional use permit, this body has the right to approve or deny, and if approved, it's done, unless those against it appeal the approval to the Board of Supervisors. Is that not correct?
I haven't, I haven't researched this specific issue, but I believe that is correct.
Mr. Hay, do you care to comment on that for me?
Yes, I can say that is correct.
Okay, all right. So conversely, if it's denied, and in this case, it was denied with a recommendation to amend the project, bring it back to this commission, just so the audience is clear, the applicant can choose to appeal it directly to the Board of Supervisors. They don't have to follow our recommendation to amend and bring it back for our approval. They can go directly to the Board of Supervisors. I just want to make sure everybody's clear on that. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Ms. Stover?
Yes, the gentleman second to the right.
Yes.
The discussion that you were having earlier with Jim Whitaker about Jim Matthews, the way you came across was controversial in how you were expressing your idea of what was said. I just want to confirm that it was questionable.
I've been told many times that sometimes I don't speak very clearly, but let it be known that when I asked, because when I was like, excuse me, when I said Jim Matthews, you know, I said, who's the fire marshal? Because I didn't know if it was a prior fire marshal or the current fire marshal.
But your
if that
response
clarified.
was very negative.
It's fine. This is America.
On record.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am, for your input. Appreciate it. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, Mr. Hay, any comments for clarification or for the benefit of the commission members?
Well, thank you, Chair, and to all the commissioners for being present this evening and obviously listening to this presentation. And we appreciate your feedback and the questions we received tonight. I can offer that at the next Planning Commission meeting next month, staff has been working diligently on presenting 3 projects for you. There will be a rezone and a general plan amendment for a property on Walnut Avenue. There will be a development rights kind of consideration for an additional dwelling unit on Pass Road actually as well. And then there will be a minor use permit for property on Stewart Road. So we look forward to bringing those before you. I can also mention that in addition to Ravina, our associate planner this evening, we're joined by Christina, our new principal planner for the Development Services Department. We're happy to have her aboard, and certainly she's helping regulate the projects and help. We intend to give maybe a better outlook schedule on all the approved or applications that we'll be bringing before your commission for consideration. I can report that next week on the 24th, the Board of Supervisors will hear the tentative map amendment and the rezone, in addition to the other matters associated for the Lakeside of Sutter Point development. And then at the Planning Commission in April, we're also going to have an additional development agreement amendment for your commission's consideration as the project moves closer to the building permits for production homes. So we look forward to seeing you over the next few months with a lot of important projects.
Well, with that, you should know that we're going to be too short on the Planning Commission meeting for April. One commissioner will be out of state and one commissioner is going to have surgery.
Thank you.
So you'll need the other 4 to absolutely be here to make a quorum.
Thank you.
Just so you know, okay? It's not a lobotomy. It was a lobotomy when I was police chief. It's not a lobotomy on the planning commission. For the good of the order, from the members of the commission, starting with Commissioner Campbell, any items for discussion that you would like to share, sir?
No, none whatsoever. I'd like to thank the public for showing up. It's always nice when you do show up. It'd be nice if we had this kind of turnout when there was good news, other than adversarial, but I do understand the concern. I grew up in this area. I can tell you I spent my wedding night by myself contemplating what I was doing in the Buttes, and for years I've called it my therapist. So I share your concern for protecting it. I'm not going to comment on how I feel about the project, but we appreciate you showing up. We continue to urge you to do so. I want to thank staff and county council and our planning director and our in-house guy for taking care of us, and for each of you for showing up and having a good time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Schmidl.
I'd like to thank everybody, and I thank the input. You know, I just started this. I don't know how to speak in public very well. I'm a very strong-willed person, so I appreciate everybody coming out, though, because we had a bigger decision last month and nobody came out, so thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. It's important that we hear your comments for and against on all of these. And that what you saw tonight is how it can go back and forth. And this is one of the longer ones that we've had in the last couple of years. So just so you know, and it's not over until it's over, regardless of what happens here. Sir.
It's kind of the same thing. I'd like to thank everyone for being here and for your input. It does help us to see where everybody's coming from. So thank you.
I would just like to have these controversial projects in somebody else's district where I did not get 15 phone calls today. But I'm glad to represent you all. We can't make everybody happy all the time. We can only do our best. I feel your pain. It was a Live Oak boy. In order to come terrorize Sutter, we drove Pass Road from Live Oak the back way to come in so they wouldn't see us going out Butte House. But it is a dangerous road.
Commissioner Manuel wanted police protection coming and going tonight. It's okay. Commissioner Dillon.
That I don't think I have anything to add to all that. Thank you, everybody, for coming out.
Mr. Hay, I'd make the recommendation, as we have done once in the past when we had bare bones commission meeting, that Commissioner Campbell be appointed chair for the next meeting in April.
Thank you.
Okay. You're very welcome. Anything else before we adjourn the meeting? Meeting's adjourned.